already give the spiel?
No.
Not yet.
Did he sneak out?
That guy.
Is that it too?
Oh, that's my notes.
I have.
Oh, nice.
That was
Oh, you got some girl's phone number.
saying Mike King was a snake was your word, not mine. I never said that.
Are we rolling?
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell us what went on in there.
The matter was set for a hearing, but the hearing didn't proceed because of really. Let me rephrase that if I can. The matter was set for hearing on whether or not we would add Joyce as a defendant, Joyce Myers Ministries. The hearing did not proceed upon my election because I think that there's a difference of opinion in the law. And when I couldn't get Mike King, the attorney for Joyce Myers Ministries, to concede certain points that would let the hearing go forward, I really felt I had no choice but to delay the hearing, take the depositions of Joyce Myers for other members of the ministry, and then either take the depositions or have them testify individually on the witness stand. Certainly, I don't want to put my clients at risk, and if it just needs a little more time, a little more work, we're happy to do that.
And what was Mr. King's reaction when you spoke afterward?
Mr. King, I can't speak for him, but I can tell you he said, I understand your position. I'm required to make that objection, but you know, he agreed with me as from one lawyer to the next, let's get it right. We don't want to create issues that can go up on appeal. I don't think either lawyer is trying to sandbag the other lawyer. I think there's an honest dispute. We look to the judge for some resolution, and the judge candidly said there are cases that go both ways. I'll listen to the evidence, but I can't give an advisory opinion. So that says to me, let's take a step back. Let's do this a little bit differently and bring in some actual live witnesses or documents or testimony, not just simply argue, as Mr. King wanted to, just the legalities of it. It's a factual-based thing, so let's put some facts in the record.
Do you want these 4 people to be on the stand in that courtroom, or do you think a deposition will be enough?
I'll have to take the deposition first, and if I think the deposition is sufficient, I'm not going to force them to take the stand, but if I find that there's something in the deposition that may be used for credibility purposes, impeachment purposes, I may call them to the stand for that purpose. So I have to make the decision after I take the depositions.
You think this was a surprise twist that all of a sudden Mr. King might have to have his clients show up right here in person?
It might have been a surprise to Mr. King. I think the only surprise might have been is that I anticipated he might make the argument that there was no live testimony. And in discussing this with the local counsel, Mr. Field, on Friday, I tried to get a concession out of him whether or not they would take that position. And of course I couldn't do that Friday, I couldn't do that today. And so, you know, you try to anticipate the defense, and if they won't waive that defense, then you're better off maybe putting more effort into it and doing it a little bit differently to take away that defense. And I anticipated it. Mr. King wouldn't waive it, as I expected he would, because I expect him to fight every step of the way here. So, and don't ask me why. I mean,
is he going to fight Joyce Meyer showing up here in person?
I don't think he can fight that. I think if we demand Joyce Meyer to be here for this, for the hearing, Joyce Meyer must appear. So, you know, again, you're asking me to speak for Mr. King. I think the position of Mr. King's client is that we're going to fight through every step of the way. I mean, they've got the lawyers, they've got the money. I think it's a corporate culture of fighting these things. Instead of coming forward and saying, you know, how can we resolve it, they want to take a legal battle all the way, and you know what? We're happy to accommodate them. We're not going anywhere.
Enrico, in the 4, Joyce Meyer, Dan Meyer, the webmaster, and Chris Coleman, is that correct?
Correct. And I don't think we're going to call Chris Coleman. I don't want to give out the entire strategy. And I don't think I correctly said Dan Meyer. I'm looking for Joyce Meyer's son, who I know is personal friends with Chris Coleman and traveled with him in Terra. And that's the correct person. I don't need Joyce's husband. Mike Cole was the person who received the first email, and then they have a webmaster. The name is hard to pronounce, but they know who their IT guy is, and that's the one who's monitoring all the emails. And I think he's crucial because the question is, when did you receive the emails? These are serious death threats. What did you do with those emails? Who did you contact? We cannot get a straight answer as to what authorities they contacted.
Do you think that there's anyone?
There is.
Do you think that there's?
Get away.
Do you think that there's anyone in the security department besides Chris Coleman that you'd want to talk with about security measures or issues.
It remains to be seen. I think there are other people. I don't want to divulge any names today. We're going to take the depositions and we're going to, it's discovery. You take the discovery, you see where that leads you, may give you additional names, and then you follow up. But we'll certainly be prepared the next time we come back. Mr. King's a fine lawyer, and we need to be prepared to meet him head on.
If there are accusations that she's only been named because of deep pockets, how would you respond?
I'm tired of Joyce Myers trying to portray herself as the victim. I know who the victims are, and Joyce Myers is no victim. It has nothing to do with deep pockets. It's everything to do with culpability.
Yeah, exactly.
It's,
Mario?
it's accountability.
Yeah.
It's not the money, it's the accountability.
Yeah, if this could have been prevented, I don't know, or possibly could have been prevented, maybe not could have been prevented, but possibly. I read the death threats myself many times, and the first question that I would hope that would come to anybody's mind would be, who wrote this? Because, so anybody who saw those, I mean, whether it's a family member, a friend, even an acquaintance, or even an enemy, I would want to find out where did they come from, because if you read them, then you'll know what I mean by what I'm saying right now. So
How is the family doing?
that's the thing. Everybody's doing okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for asking.
We're good.
Thanks, Ed. For my opposing counsel.